back to the show. You just saw those highlights. Hall of Fame edge rusher, 7-time All-Pro from the Cowboys and the Broncos. And apparently you're ripped. Let's go. Show me.
Always, always.
You got that polo. I like that. If I were you, I'd wear the jacket. I'd wear like the ring. I do it all, but you're just casual. You're just rocking just in case you don't know.
Casual.
But
just casual. Yeah, just casual. This is my polo I go golfing in, so it's like I just put it on this morning just to let people know that, the Hall of Fame is still out there.
Yeah, I always love seeing you because you are such like a delight and you're smiley and wonderful and you were such a menace on the football field as we just saw. And there's nothing casual and cute about this Texans defense. They are unbelievable. And that's where we start from last night. I've never seen Mahomes look so uncomfortable. When you're watching, what did you see?
You know what I saw, him being uncomfortable from a pressure standpoint. I'm talking about the interior guys. Like, they were not letting him, get up in the pocket. They were, really messing up his timing, as I saw. They were creating a lot of interceptions from that pressure. But two guys that I was really looking at is those young guys was Hunter and Anderson. They were both. I think they're almost like top 10 right now in sacks, and the way that their defense is playing and getting so much pressure, they're playing lights out.
Who's the best defense in the business right now? Is it Texans or is it Broncos?
I would probably say the Broncos, because when you start thinking about a top defense, you also got to think about the other side is the offense. The Texans' offense is okay. That's what I think compared to, Bo Nix. But when you got a defense playing like they've been playing, they won the last 4 or 5 games by 1 or 2 points, and it's all came down to the defense. And so that's probably one of the coolest things for me, not just because I played and won a Super Bowl with Super Bowl 50 with Denver, but those guys are young and they're really hungry.
There's something that reminds you of your defense from back then to this one?
Yeah, the way that they play, they make mistakes, but the tackles for losses, the pressure that they get, they're on the field. I think it was 6 games that year when we won Super Bowl 50. We won it by either causing a forced fumble with 12 seconds left, or just like Bonitto did last week, it was the last play of the game. If he would not block that ball and, just knocked it back, it would have probably been a touchdown. So just the young guys that they got, the tenacity that they play with, the pressure, the consistency in the red zone. When a lot of the defenses, when you look at them, they're probably the top defense with consistency in the red zone, and them being able to play like they've been playing right now. I think I always say the sky's the limit for the young guys when they come together so early.
Who came up with no-fly zone? Who came up with that?
You know what? I think it was Chris Harris.
He made it up?
Yes, because he was like, dude, they're not going to pass the ball. We're going to make sure that you guys are you're able to have more time with pressure. And the first time he got an interception, I remember he would fly like this. He would have his arms out, and so everybody would watch it.
Huh.
And so then I see a Talib doing it, I see Stu doing it, I see TJ doing it, and it was like, dog, we just going to call it the no-fly zone, because every single game in Denver, you get either F-15s or bombers go over the stadium right before the stadium starts, and it sort of puts everything in context of you got the flyover, and you start thinking about the no-fly zone that we had with Super Bowl 50 with those guys. I think it was just a perfect name for them.
And because I'm trying to figure out who decides to name these defenses, right? Because I was just talking about the Texans, and it's they probably deserve a nickname because they're a Legion of Boomin'. They're really by the numbers historical. Yeah. And I feel the last defensive, what was the last nickname we had? It had to be Saxonville in 2017.
Yeah, Jackson. Yeah, it was
and no one since then, and maybe I'm wrong. So who, I want to know who's the person, the arbiter that decides. You're saying it's Chris. So somebody Will Anderson step up to the plate and start. We got to start workshopping.
No, the media. No, the media. They usually will say, hey, they played when we played, they said it was the Orange Crush. Right. And so then they started saying, okay, how can we have a spinoff on it? And there's a no-fly zone comes up.
Yeah.
But how has Houston had like some really good defenses that they can say, okay, this is what did when J.J. Watt was there, right? And what was their name compared to, like, I don't know exactly what they will call them, after that right now, but they got to have some name. I mean,
So
all
out of
great
all the
defenses do.
defenses, the one that this year deserves one is, you're saying, Broncos over Texans.
I would say the Broncos. I would say the Broncos over the Texans for sure. Because the thing is, I'm going to see them later in the season. I feel like I'm going to see them later in the season.
You know what I'm watching
I can keep talking.
I'm watching this game, and all I keep thinking, and I can ask you about Bonitto, and that's the low-hanging fruit here for sure. But all I'm thinking is, Demarcus, get Maxx out of there. That's what I'm thinking. And Nik Bonitto, after the game, had such beautiful things to say about Maxx Crosby and another loss. And Maxx is like, when you're watching that, what is it that you want to say to Maxx, or why are you closing your eyes like that? Are we praying for him right now? What are we doing?
No, I mean, I can't be praying for him, but a guy with Max's talent, I mean, he didn't, when you think about like the top 5 pass rushers, top 10 pass rushers right now, he's in that list. But the thing is, his record's not showing that. I mean, his production isn't, because every single game they're down, they're not playing well, but he's still doing what he can do. And for Maxx, if he can probably get out of the Raiders and go somewhere, I don't know exactly where he would go. I think that would be great for him.
But he wouldn't go before. He wouldn't even go before. He's like, there's loyalty, and then there's like.
I know.
You think that this season changes that? You think that there's a world where he believed this was a season and then it didn't, and now he changes his... I guess my question for you would be, what would it take somebody who's an elite pass rusher, who you can only do what you can only control what you can control? Yeah. What would maybe change his frame of thinking and finally saying, like, him and Miles, like, okay, now, like, Father Time is going to come eventually. I want to be on a contending team. Is it time that makes that change?
Being a competitor, I'm going to go back to the time where I got released by the Dallas Cowboys. There was no way, it didn't matter if we were losing or not, I was loyal to that team. The only reason I had to leave was because of business. Jerry couldn't pay me at the time. He said, I'm going to let you test the market during free agency and see where you fall, and then see if I can, work a deal with you, and he couldn't. And so when you are a competitor like Maxx, he wants to win. It doesn't matter the record, and that's what type of player you want on the team. No matter if he's up, no matter if he's down, he's going to put those pads on. I'm going to be loyal to you, and I'm probably going to be the best player on the field, which he's been for, the years he's been playing. So it will be harder to end up being probably a business deal that will get him to change over. Otherwise, he's going to say, nah, I'm going to be right here. I'm going to be loyal, and I'm going to just keep playing.
Do you wish he'd go somewhere else?
I wish he would. I mean, the Raiders is, seeing him in another uniform, I probably can't see it, but the production he can produce on another team that has a really good offense, I think that, how many years has he been playing? Let's say 8, 9. Right, 8 or 9 years. I don't know for sure. So don't quote me on that.
I'm sure my producers are on it. I'll get it to you. Go ahead.
Yeah. But so let's say that, like, now the next 4 years of his career,
7.
He's on a 7. Wow,
he was drafted in 2019.
Still early.
Drafted in 2019. So maybe that's what. Maybe I'm like jumping the gun on it, I guess.
No, because the thing is, he's still got a lot in the tank. And when you are not on a good team, you get beat up. Every single time the teams are going to come in, they're going to say, put a tight end, put a tackle on him, put a running back, we're going to chip him. And now he only got 2 or 3 more years left. But if he gets on a good team, now he's rushing the pass and doing what he likes to do. And now he's playing for 5 or 6 more years. Yeah,
Raiders fans always want to kill me about this kind of stuff, but if you really love Maxx, you want him to thrive while you guys are turning it around.
You want the best for him.
You want him to go. You want to see him. Same thing with Browns fans. Like, are you really a fan of, or do you really love this guy if you're not rooting for him to go somewhere else? I will ask you quickly on Bonitto, and then I want to get to your freaking Cowboys who are ruining it for everybody. I want to ask you, like, and I'll show you just the sacks. I think since 2024, what do we have cooked up here on Bonitto? Yeah, sack leader since 2024. That's pretty freaking good from Bonitto.
Wow.
He's not talked about as one of these elite Garrett Parsons, Crosby, Watts. I'm not going to ask you what, what's missing from his game that you like makes him not talked about in that way. Like when you see this, it feels like he should be getting more love. Is it like a consistency thing? We need more?
He's playing with the best of the best with Myles Garrett. I mean, just to name a few of those guys, with Max, the name, with TJ, he's playing good football. I always go back to how many of your football games are nationally televised? And when you start looking at a lot of the games in Denver, they're 12 o'clock, they're 2 o'clock. They're not those late games that, people are watching at 7:30. And half of the time, if I try to watch it here in Dallas, I don't get it. I don't even get the broadcast. So I will go maybe on YouTube or Netflix or Hulu. I'm going on every single thing trying to watch it. So I don't get to see it. So I don't get to see his highlights like a lot of the other players like Myles Garrett. You see what I'm saying? So I think that it's the showmanship that he's not getting, not from a production standpoint.
That's interesting. And they're the #1 seed in the AFC. Maybe they start getting that love eventually because he's amazing.
Yes.
I don't even know the chances for your Cowboys are bad. I think we can take a look at the standings. I don't know. I know that they went way down. Obviously, it just goes to show you can have this fireworks show of an offense. It doesn't matter if you don't have a great defense. People are clowning on your guy EBERFLUS after this game. When you watched last week's Cowboys loss, now that it's been a couple days, you saw these other games to even it out. What are your thoughts?
I got coached by Matt. I was in he was a phenomenal coach. And when you have a set of young guys and finally getting some leadership, coming there from a defensive line standpoint and getting the guys right with Williams, I think it's really, really good. And you can see those 3 games that he's been playing, I think it's maybe 2 games, they've been playing really, really well against the run. And so then you're starting to see Matt EBERFLUS's defense open up. It is very, very complex. And when you have young guys that aren't in the right place, that's when you start seeing the mistakes happen, right? But then when you see them play like a total game against, Kansas City, and then I think it was Philly, and they beat both of them, it's like, wait a minute, where did this team come from? Is because they were on point. They were doing exactly what his scheme calls for, and that's being fundamentally sound. And so they're not fundamentally sound, and so you see these little mix-ups on defense, and then they're like, well, and it's Matt's fault. It's not. He calls great plays. I promise you, he calls great plays. I'm a vouch for the guy.
So why is it not Matt's fault?
If you call the play, right, now there's a number 2. The guy with the C on his chest, meaning the captain of the defense. He is responsible for being the coach when Matt's on the sideline. Matt gets the call, not just to the captain, but to the play caller. And then that captain knows everybody's position, where they should be, and then instilled a will in that defense that no matter what Matt calls, it's going to work. No matter what he calls, if it's a base, if it's a blitz, no matter, it's going to work. And I think the guys, they have bought in some of the games, and some of the games they haven't.
Did you buy into the fact that the storyline that Pickens gave up at the end of that game against the Lions? Questioning his effort. Do you question his effort?
I don't question it. I don't question it. I mean, maybe I question if he was sad because his boy and what happened. Sometimes it can change the demeanor of a player, and you just man, how is he doing? Is he okay? And when you're beside, it's almost like, you got your 1 and 2, Batman and Robin. So if you don't have one on the field, you just don't feel right. So I don't think it's an effort thing. I think it was one of those things where I need to go check on my boy. I need to go see how he's doing. What is going on? What's more important here? The game or the player that I play with, which is my brother.
Is Jerry going to extend him? Should he? How much? What should that look like?
Oh yeah.
You guys have a lot of defensive holes. I'm hearing. So I don't know. 6-1. I just think all the money should probably go to that side of the ball. Or what do you think?
Okay, you convince
I don't.
me.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We got holes, Jerry.
Yeah,
we got ants, Jerry.
we got to bring some more rushers in. We do. We got to bring some more rushers in to take the place of Micah. The interior linebackers and cornerbacks, the front seven always has to be solidified, but the corners, we gotta get that dialed in because there's just too many deep passes, too many times where guys aren't where they need to be. Now I don't know exactly why, but there needs to be leadership starting, I think, from the free safety position, going back there, and then start pressing up. So now you got somebody that's looking from the backside, looking at everybody else, that's controlling everything, that can, get everybody in line.
We're going to take a short break here. We appreciate you, of course, for all of your amazing analysis and just being the Hall of Fame human
Thank you so
that you
much.
are. Appreciate you. By the way, we got Matt Ryan coming on. Remember sacking him? I just looked it up.
Yeah, probably about 6 or 7 times, but I don't think he remembers.
Was it 6 or 7? Matt, we're in commercial break now.
Probably 2 or 3.
Matt, how many times did Demarcus get his hands on you? Get out of here. I'm seeing 1 in 2012. Was there more than that, Matt?
I remember him hitting me square in the back in 2012.
That's
it was
the one
bad.
I
You can
see.
look this one up.
Week
we let
9.
him come in unblocked. Bad
Sure
by me
did.
setting that protection. But I think my back still feels it.
What do you want to say,
Listen, man,
Demarcus?
Listen, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. When I had the pads on, I was not. But right now, as we're talking man to man, I'm sorry that I had to do that. But you probably scored about 3 or 4 touchdowns after that too. Now, like you probably won the game too that I had that sack on. So you're
I think we
now.
won. That's the cost of doing business, man. That's the cost of doing business.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Demarcus, do you want to send him like a gift card to Massage Envy? You want to send him one of those heaters, one of those like TikTok
I'm actually
shop?
probably send him like maybe one of those hypervolts for his back. All right, and maybe something for his arm. Or send him a cold plunge tub to his house. I know he wants some of that.
See,
So
look.
yeah, if I do it, I got to do it for the quarterback. I got to do it.
Look.
I love it. Thank you, Demarcus. I'll text you my address. Okay.
There we go.
I'll expect that cold plunge.
For sure.
Matt, I think
Yeah,
both of you. I think
Christmas
both
card
of you
is
are
coming.
doing pretty well. I think both of you are doing pretty well. We will have Matt Ryan on the show. By the way, Matt, Matt's full of Ensure Max protein. He doesn't need any help with any wellness stuff. We'll be back. Oh, we will be back right after this. Bye, Demarcus.
All right, peace.